What's up, guys? Just here back to my channel tonight. Being a review for Aew Worlds End. So let's get to it then with the first match on the pre-show card, which is 3 matches only. We have Tony Storm versus Leila Gray. We head to the ringside area where the commentators welcome us to the first 0-hour pre-show match of the evening. Tony Storm's theme hits, and out she comes for our opening contest. She tells in the ring looking like an excited newcomer. Leila Gray's theme hits next, and out comes the Queen's native for her big stage debut. Fans chant, "She's a rookie," as the two get going. Storm, with the fresh haircut, takes Gray down and controls her. Gray reverses and looks for a submission, but Storm counters into a pin attempt for a 2 count. After some more back and forth action, Storm hits the hip attack and ultimately finishes this one off for the victory. After the match, Excalibur runs down the remaining matches scheduled for tonight's 0-hour pre-show. So winner is Tony Storm. Alright, QT Marshall versus Jeff Jarrett. Backstage, Lexi Nair is standing by with QT Marshall for an interview. He bills being the new big boom and talks as if he's a super famous viral megastar. He wraps up the interview by taking an unwanted selfie for Nair. No, this one's on me. He walks up as Nair plays into the disgust. We return to the pre-show panel where we're going to go see Marvel's go, blah, blah. Sorry, they went back to the panel thing. That's why I was, okay. Alright, back to the ring. We go where QT Marshall comes up to fire Pyro with the bedazzled big boom roll. He sells in the ring, and then the familiar sounds of Jarrett's guitar screech theme hits, and the crowd gives him a big pop befitting of a wrestling legend. The bell sounds, and off we go. Jarrett takes an early offensive lead, teasing the Jackie Fargo strut a bunch before clotheslining Marshall to the floor and finally delivering it. The crowd exploded. He did the Marshall double biceps dancing pose to mock him. Fans chant, "You still got it," at Jarrett. Marshall shifts the offensive momentum in his favor and begins to take over. Fans are quick to hit him with the "You still suck" chant. Aaron Solo runs out and tries to distract Jarrett. Marshall asks for the guitar, but when Solo goes to pass it to him, Jay Lethal runs out and stops him. Jarrett hits the stroke and gets the win. So winner is Jeff Jarrett. Alright, first time ever about collision, all that stuff. Alright, the main event for the pre-show, the Outrunners and Top Flight versus Leo Rush, Action Andrade, and Murder Machines. We get back to the panel, all that stuff. Alright, final pre-show. Top Flight duo Darius and Dante Martin make their way out, accompanied by Leila Gray. After they settle in the ring, the Outrunners duo Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd come to the ring. Their opponents, Leo Rush, Action Andrade, and the Murder Machines duo of Brian Cage and Lance Archer, head out. The bell sounds and off we go. Archer and Darius kick things off for the respective teams. Darius does well early on, but it is long before the heel duo takes over. The Outrunners eventually tag in for a fired up combat that gets the crowd on their feet. After some more back for action, things culminate with Archer and Cage cleaning house, only for their partners Rush and Andrade to steal the pin. Whilst the match wraps up, we hear the familiar sounds of Pride Party's theme music. Out comes the reigning AEW World Tag Team Champions to stand up with Rush and Andrade. Someone called Tony Schiavone during the match, and the commentators messed with him about his phone going off live on air. So winners are Leo Rush, Action Andrade, and Murder Machines. Alright. Backstage, Jeff Jarrett and stuff. Backstage, Lexi Nair is standing by with Jeff Jarrett and the rest of his crew. Jay Lethal is Satan Singh and Sanjay Dutt. Jarrett takes to the mic with some serious tone, says he always reflect back on his career during the week before Christmas and the New Year. He says that with that in mind, he's got an announcement for next Wednesday's AEW Dynamite about his career. Alright, first match coming up on the main card, AEW Continental Classic, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. Alright, so welcome to the show as far as goes out there. Alright, let me drink this real quick, guys. Alright, here we go. First match coming up on the main card. We hear the familiar sounds of Will Ospreay's theme as Excalibur informs us that Jim Ross will join them on commentary later tonight for the final 2 matches of the evening. The aerial assassin heads to the ring for the first of 2 semifinals matches in the AEW Continental Classic tournament. Alright, then again, this person didn't put what time the match started and stuff. Okay, anyways, Kyle Fletcher's theme hits and next and out he comes. The bell sounds and official running. Our first pay-per-view match of the evening. Ospreay rushes across the ring and immediately blasts Fletcher with a loud chop that draws gas from the fans in Orlando. Within seconds, the action hits the floor and Fletcher bounces Ospreay's head and busts him open. Ospreay's entire face is a crimson mask of thick, dark red blood from forehead to chin, with fans chanting, "Fuck you, Kyle!" But yeah, he was busting, he was gushing blood. As the Don Callis protege goes to work on his former friend turned bitter rival, Fletcher taunts the crowd right back and then sends Ospreay to the corner for some mountain punches until Ospreay subs out of the corner. This sets up for an Oz cutter, only to be driven face first into the turnbuckle by Fletcher for his efforts. Ospreay is donning a crimson mask now, causing enough concern for Doc Sampson to try and intervene, but the match goes out on as Ospreay tries his best to fight back despite the blood getting in his eyes, hitting a standing sky twister press for the cover for a 2 count before Kyle kicks out. Fletcher gets on his feet, sending Ospreay away, but Will counters with a stun dog millionaire. Oscutter is blocked once again as Fletcher sends Will to the ropes, only for Ospreay to hit a running Spanish fly for another close near fall. Ospreay is back on his feet for a kick on Fletcher, who retaliates with a chop to the chest. Alright, Ospreay responds with a chop of his own, leading to a dangerous exchange between both men until Fletcher is sent down to the ropes. After some more bang for action, Ospreay fights back into a competitive form before ultimately finishing Fletcher off with a picture-perfect styles clash for the win. Ospreay will face the winner of Kazuchika Okada versus Ricochet. So winner and advancing Will Ospreay. This was a good match. So again, winner and advancing Will Ospreay. Alright, second match coming up, AEW Continental Classic, Kazuchika Okada versus Ricochet. I hope I said the first name right on Okada, because I suck at names. Anyways, commentators talk about Ospreay needing patch before the finals later time. It's my final, blah, blah, which you know, the pre-show package is... Sorry, guys, I'm trying to return. Okay, here we go. Return inside the Orlando Arena, where Ricochet's theme hits to bring him out to the ring first. He sells into the ring to a ton of boos, and then we hear the coin drop and the crowd explodes. The Rainmaker makes his way to the ring, the bell sounds, and off we go. Alright, after some more early back and forth action, Okada gets Ricochet down and hits the ropes, sprinting a la Braun Breaker back and forth over and over again, only to stop and bitch smack the hell out of the back of Ricochet's bald head. After Ricochet shifts the momentum and takes over on a fence. Moments later, fans sing na 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 na, hey hey hey, you're bald. And that was funny. Anyways, Okada fights back and gets Ricochet on his shoulders for a near fall that breaks the hold, but Ricochet responds with a shoulder attack to keep Okada grounded. He continues to mock the crowd, running down the great Okada, who stares Ricochet down as he builds back to a vertical place. Ricochet hits a couple of chops on the champ, who rises to his feet with a grimace before returning the favor with some strikes. He heads to the corner, fending off a dropkick attempt before hoisting up Ricochet for a big slam that sends him to the canvas. Both men back up as Okada hits a couple of forearm strikes and takes Ricochet to the corner for a big boot en route to a near fall. Ricochet manages to build momentum, now taking to the ropes for a near fall before hitting a standing shooting star press, but this gets the same result as Okada kicks out. Moments later, Ricochet hits another picture perfect shooting star press, this time off the top rope for a close 2 count. Ricochet gets to hyper focus on the crowd chants again, and Okada begins to shift the offensive momentum in his favor. Okay, Okada ultimately blasts Ricochet with his Rainmaker finisher for the pinfall victory with the win. It will be Okada versus Ospreay in the finals of the AEW Continental Classic Tournament, with the AEW Continental Championship on the line. So winner and advancing Kazuchika Okada. Alright, after the match, The toilet paper is thrown at Ricochet, and then Swerve Strickland's steam hits. As Ricochet recovers in the ring, he stops at the top of the stage in a giant fur coat and gets on the mic. Swerve says he promised to embarrass Ricochet tonight, and now that he lost, he's going to embarrass him further. He brings up Ricochet talking a lot of mess since arriving in AEW. He says, who better than Swerve to clean it up? And what better to clean up a mess than this? Presnana comes out dancing with the wheelbarrow full of toilet paper rolls. Nana hands them out to a bunch of fans, and on Swerve's command, all the fans throw the toilet paper at Ricochet. The ring is full of toilet paper now. Swerve tells Ricochet, Happy New Year's. Trevor and walks out. Yeah, he says his real name, Trevor. All right, Will Ospreay backstage. Backstage, Renee Paquette is standing by with a still completely disgusting, bloody Will Ospreay. He sarcastically asks if there's something on his face. He talks about his plans to win the AEW Continental Classic tonight and then go to Disney World in the immortal words of Tony Khan. Let's fucking go, lads, he says to close out the fired up promo segment. Alright, next match coming out, third match. AEW Women's World Championship Tijuana Street Fight. The Glamour Mariah May, who is the champion, versus Thunder Rosa. Now the pre-match video package to set the stage for our next match, eating at Tijuana for AEW World Championship. The Glamour Mariah May defending against Thunder Rosa. Deputy Yapper Justin Roberts handles the ring introductions, and out comes the challenger whose dad is in the ring, and the champion Rosa comes out first, but also looking like a badass in her street gear. Yeah, she did look like a badass with wrestling boots for this Tijuana Street Fight title too. The reigning defending champ May comes out next, with Nigel McGuinness fawning over her on commentary. As always, May gets in Rosa's face, Rosa's pop's face, prompting Rosa to pop her in the grill to get this one off to a hot start. Alright, after some brawling at ringside, Rosa brings the champ back in the ring, hitting the ropes for a senton that gets a near fall. Rosa stays on the attack, prompting Mariah up against the ropes for a drop kick before pulling the champ in for another near fall. The challenger gives May a stomp before leaving the ring, pulling out a variety of weapons from under the apron before sending a trash can into the ring. Mariah leaves the ring for some respite, but Rosa gives chase up the ramp until Mariah hits a DT, sending the challenger on the stage for a near fall. May heads off, grabbing a bottle of tequila that she takes a drink of before spitting it in Rosa's face, and this gets under the skin of the challenger, who drives May through one of the painted boards with the spear. Rosa grabs a trash can from nearby, but Mariah slams it against her elbow, forcing Thunder to walk away. May goes after her challenger, who has an object of some sort that she smashes over the champ's head, but that's only good for a 2 count. Rosa brings the champ back into the ring, now setting up May up in the corner for some kicks before throwing her by the hair into a stack of chairs. She yells at Mariah about her recent remarks as she attacks the champ with the chair, but May fights back to hit a running knee for a near fall. I'm sorry. Okay. I gotta make sure where I'm at. Alright, shit, come on. Alright, Rosa fights back and sending Mariah down hard for a near fall of her own. Before grabbing a nearby piano, she busts it open, revealing not candy but thumbtacks that spill onto the canvas. Rosa hits a stomp on the champ before bringing her up for a package pile driver, but Mariah counters with a Mayday, sending Rosa onto the attack. She goes for the cover, but the challenger manages to kick out. Both women come out of the ring as May sends Rosa to the steel steps. She approaches Papa Rosa, stealing his cane to make fun of the elder before turning her attention back to Thunder, who fights back and sending the champ into the barricade before grabbing her father's cane to strike back at Mariah. She sends May into the ring apron, now forcing her to the floor before pulling a table out from under the ring. The table is half propped up as Rosa brings May to her feet and then uses the table as a launch pad for a dropkick, sending the champ back to the floor. Graveyard dirt ends up in Rosa's face instead of the intended target. May is prompting McGuinness to drop the gem of a line. Oh, the irony. May follows up with the pile driver from the ring apron. threw a table on the floor for the pin and the win to retain. So winner and still AEW Women's World Champion, the Glamour Army. All right, next match coming out: Diamond Ring, MJF, who's a champion of the ring, versus Adam Cole. God damn, this scrolling thing won't go down. Anyways, the pre-match video paragraphs, the famous tells MJF's theme is to bring him out to the ring for our Diamond Ring match of the evening. Adam Cole, Bebe makes his way out next, and after the reintroductions, the bell sounds to get this one started. Straight out of the gate, Cole charges at MJF, who immediately rolls out of the ring as he says they're on his time, but Adam insists that's not the case as he gets a drop on MJF, bringing him back into the ring. He looks for a Panama Sunrise, but MJF rolls out of the ring again, this time luring Cole into a trap as he pulls him into the ring steps. The crowd chants, "He's our scumbag." MJF reacts to the pro chants, scolding the crowd, "If I wanted your help, I wanted your help if I asked for it. Now shut the fuck up." He goes, yeah. So he was scolding. He was talking to the fans. He goes after Cole once more before mouthing off with one of the fans. Especially, he brings Cole back into the ring, mocking Adam's taunt and flipping the crowd off before mocking Cole some more with a push-up and a forearm strike. Cole is now officially busted open, something MJF attacks even further. MJF seems riled, however, as he yells at the crowd, and this gives Cole a brief opening to strike back before MJF hits a powerbomb into a backbreaker, sending Adam to the mat. Max goes up. Max goes up for a Long Island Sunrise, but Cole fights him off before hitting a knee and a big kick. Cole hits a backstabber and a brainbuster for a near fall 2 count. MJF pulls an Eddie Guerrero and tries to get Matt Taven and Mike Bennett ejected from ringside. During the chaos, MJF sneaks over and gets his hands on the diamond ring. The referee makes sure Taven and Bennett leave, and as he does, MJF goes for a cheap shot, but Cole avoids it and super kicks MJF. Now Cole has the dynamite diamond ring himself. Taven and Bennett try and keep the ref distracted so Cole can use it. MJF hits a low blow and then a heat seeker on Cole. He covers him and gets the 3 count with the victory. Once again, your winner of the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring is Maxwell Jacob Freeman. MJF 6 years in a row. Man, he has that ring for almost 6 years in a row now. All right, which will be January 1st, but later, somewhere in the summer. Anyways, afterwards, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong come out and hit a high and low sweep on MJF. They extend a hand to Cole to help him up. They hold MJF and Cole blast him with a punch while wearing the Dynamite Diamond Ring. They throw the ring on MJF and do a big group hug for a pop. So winner of 2024 Dynamite Diamond Ring, MJF. Alright, AEW International Championship match. Konosuke Takeshita, who was a champion, versus Powerhouse Hobbs. The pre-show match will be about current Don Callis member versus which former one is shown as Konosuke Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs up next. The Pegs are outside. Hobbs makes his way out to the ring. The reigning defending champion, the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita, is out next, accompanied by Don Callis. Heads over to join the gang on a special guest commentary. The bell sounds and official off running. With this telltale, Hobbs and Takeshita immediately trade strikes. Hobbs hits a short tackle that sends Takeshita to the floor. Okay, now Takeshita fights back, bringing Hobbs onto his shoulders before driving his knee onto the hardest part of the ring. Callis is pleased by this as ref checks on Hobbs, but the Alpha brings him to the apron and then back into the ring. Takeshita continues the attack here, eventually sending the Powerhouse's leg into the mat for more damage. Hobbs is ferrying his leg as Takeshita goes back after it, pulling away on it against the ropes before the ref intervenes. The action heads to the apron now, with the champ bringing his challenger in the hard way. He sends Hobbs to the ropes, but the Powerhouse connects with the crossbody that takes the champ to the crowd. Crowd chants "meet" as Hobbs goes back on the attack, sending the champ to the corner for a set of lariats. He brings Takeshita up, driving him down for a power slam that gets a 2 count. Hobbs is still ferrying his knee. here as he rolls to the floor for leverage, getting back on his feet to his feet. I'm sorry, as the champ. Just as Hobbs sends him to the ropes, Kanoshiki fights back, now catching the challenger with the modified tombstone pile driver covered by the champ. But Hobbs stays in this by kicking out at both two. Both men are on their feet. Chance of meat as they land shots. Takesha with a German suplex. Hobbs blocks a power drive knee before taking a kick to the head, only to catch the champ with another power slam and a massive running lariat that sends Kanoshiki to the canvas, covered by Hobbs. But the champ kicks out to keep it in to keep I don't know to keep in it. Okay, there you go. Takesha is brought to his feet by the challenger, but counters into a blue thunderbomb and the cover. But Hobbs kicks out at one. Kaz can't believe it as Hobbs heads to the top turnbuckle. Takesha intercepts at the two go at it on the top turnbuckle before Hobbs drops the knee, seemingly giving out on him. Excuse me, sorry. Anyways, the ref checks on him as Takesha gets back to his feet, only for Hobbs to start fighting back. Missed, please be careful chants that are met with a superplex by the champ. Hobbs is down as Takesha goes up top again, this time for a senton. He heads to the corner. Hobbs slowly gets up and counters a power drive knee with a spinebuster, sending the champ into the mat. Hobbs with a close 2 count. Moments later, Takesha takes over and after connecting with his raging fire finisher, he scores the pin for the victory with the win. Takesha retains his AEW International Championship in a good big guy bout. So winner is still AEW International Champion Kanoshika Takeshita. God, I suck at new first names. Alright, next match coming up. TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné, who is a champion, versus Chris Stanlander, Part 2. Alright, backstage, Kanoshiki Okada is interviewed by his AEW Continental Classic Final Showdown later tonight against Will Ospreay. He admits Ospreay is on another level, but not on my level. Bitch. He walks off, and the pre-match pre-video package for users to get us ready for Z1A. Anyways, alright, come on. Alright, after the package wraps up, we return inside the Edition Financial Arena in Orlando, Florida, where the second ever TBS champion, Chris Stanlander, makes her way to the ring. As it is once again mentioned how she won her title in the past with the win over a previously undefeated champion. This time, unlike Madison Rain on the pre-show, as Coward does use Jade Cargill by name to emphasize the point. Stanlander sails inside the square circle, and then the annoying CEO theme hits, and Mercedes Moné comes out doing the quality annoying CEO bouncing dance. The TBS champion heads to ring. Yeah, her dancing and theme song is so fucking annoying. Anyways, the Dapper Yapper Justin Roberts handles the final formal pre-match reintroductions for the champion and the challenger, and then the bell sounds to get this title rematch officially off running. Statlander outpowers the champ, shoving her to her booty straight out the gate. Monet goes for a head scissors, but Statlander is back up and takes the fight to Mercedes. Champ goes to the ropes, but is hoisted onto Statlander's shoulders, only to escape the grip and send her to the outside. Monet mocks her challenger as she goes back on the attack, sending Chris into the steps and then the barricade, where she hits a double knee strike before stepping onto the barricade. Okay. Statlander catches her in mid-air, however, bringing her to the ring apron before dropping her down hard, bringing the champ back into the ring for a near fall. Statlander continues the power game here until Monet escapes a vertical suplex, only to be slammed by Statlander, who lifts the champ up once more for a fall away slam. Monet is in the corner as Chris brings her up to the top turnbuckle, but the champ fights back before catching Statlander with a powerbomb. Monet gets back in the ring before bringing Statlander in for a near fall. Monet stays in control, sending Chris to the corner for a double knee, but still only gets a 2 count. Both women are on their feet as Statlander fights out of the corner with a lariat, but Mercedes responds with a backstabber for a close near fall. Monet is back up, grabbing the arms of her challenger for a straight jacket hold into another backstabber and a second one. Statlander works her way back to her feet, sending the champ into the corner, but Monet pulls her to the mat by her hair before climbing the turnbuckle. She leaps off for a meteor, but Chris catches her with something of a power bomb instead. Statlander still hurting from the apron power bomb earlier as both women are down. Champ is up, and so is the challenger, who lays into Monet with a couple lariats followed by a hammer throw, sending Monet into the corner. Okay, shit, come on. Alright, she charges at the champ, following with a jet drift German suplex that gets her close near fall. Statlander back on her feet, powering the champ down with a Michinoku driver and the cover, but the champ kicks out once again. Statlander brings Monet to the corner, propping her up on the top turnbuckle for a chop. But the champ fights back, sending Statlander into the middle turnbuckle. She then hits a tornado DDT for a near fall. For a 2 count. I'm sorry. Monet fights back and takes over moments later, hitting the three amigos. She continues and hits a fourth, fifth, and sixth, listening, whatever, standing ovation from the packed house in Orlando in the process. A big high spot from both leaves Monet and Statlander down, out on the floor at ringside. The ref checks on them and then begins a double count. Monet instantly had it won via countout, but opts against it. She gets Statlander's foot stuck in the ring frame under the ring skirt and snaps it back. Statlander's leg stuck in there. The ref begins another count, but Monet hits a flying meteor over the ropes onto Statlander's leg. While it was still stuck, Statlander takes her boot off to free herself. Monet goes for a big splash, but Statlander catches her and F5s her onto the ring apron. In the ring, she hits another for a close 2 count that fans thought was 3. I thought it was 3 too, man. Golly. Alright, Monet hits a belly-to-belly pile driver, which she completes by sitting out instead of hitting her knees, driving Statlander on her dome on the hard part of the ring apron before bouncing out to the floor at ringside. The ref begins, and Monet, for some reason, has her back turned and is celebrating her upcoming count out win, despite stopping the same outcome multiple times earlier. Obviously, Statlander makes it back in at the count of 9, and this one continues. Moments later, Monet finishes this one off to retain in another instant classic with Chris Statlander. So winner and still TBS champion Mercedes Monet. That was a good match though, and everybody had a same motivation for Chris Statlander and stuff. So anyways, not main event, sorry. AEW Continental Championship, Konosuke Okada, who's, versus Will Ospreay. It's co-main event time. After the video package airs to set the stage for our second to last match of the evening, Konosuke Okada and Will Ospreay make their respective entrances to the ring. Jim Ross joined the game commentary for the first 2 back-to-back calls to round out the show. Justin Roberts handles the final formal pre-match reintroductions, and then the bell sounds. The crowd reacts like this is an all-time classic. Before the two even touch, they've got them in the plants of their hands, and they haven't even started yet. Ospreay is sent to the ropes by the champion as her ref intervenes. Okada gives a clean break for a second before hitting Ospreay with a forearm strike. Ospreay fights back with some forearm strikes. He then sends Okada to the corner, eventually taking the champ down with the head scissors, forcing him to the outside, where Ospreay follows up with a big dive, sending him to the floor. Ref begins the count as Ospreay gets to his feet, bringing Okada around to the barricade for some uppercuts before entering the ring to break the count. Okada turns things around by sending Ospreay toward the barricade, but Will jumps onto it instead and goes for a dive onto the champ, who counters with a DDT, sending Ospreay head first onto the floor. The ref count reaches 4 as Okada breaks it up, draping Ospreay on the apron for a DDT onto the floor. Despite the ref is trying to stop him verbally, Okada brings Ospreay back into the ring, taking him down once more, but only getting a near fall for his efforts. Ospreay slowly gets to his feet, trading strikes with the champion, who responds with the neck breaker, sending Will to the mat. Alright, the ref checks on Osprey as Okada mocks him with one of his blooded Gauls pads. Osprey makes it back up, catching the champ by surprise with a suplex that gets him slowly back into the match. Osprey stays on the back on the attack all the while. Um, all the while trying to work himself back up as he goes for a hidden blade, but the champ drops him to the mat. Instead, Okada stays on top of this, eventually sending Osprey out of the ring with a grin on his face before leaving the ring to attack the knee. We hear the ref begin the count, but Okada quickly breaks it up before going for a tombstone piledriver. Osprey escapes, sending the champ to the barricade for a throws kick, followed up by an Oz cutter of the barricade. Osprey hits a Styles clash and goes for the cover, but unlike with Fletcher earlier, this doesn't finish off Okada. Okada fights back and hits a Rainmaker, but Osprey somehow kicks out of this follow-up pin attempt. Fans break out in a loud "Fight Forever" chant. The commentators talk about the bloody mess that Osprey has become once again. After several more near finishes, Okada ultimately does finish things off with an insane Rainmaker for the win. The doctors check on Osprey afterwards. Another amazing match on a show full of them. Okada's team plays forever as he um, celebrates outcomes. AEW interim EVP Christopher Daniels, he congratulates Okada and says this is normally where he come down and present him with the Continental title. He says he can't do that because he's no longer an EVP. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but this man is. Here we go. Kenny Omega comes out in a suit. He presents Okada with the title, says nothing, and walks off in a tense moment. So winner and still AEW Continental Champion Konosuke Okada. Yeah, oh man, I thought Kenny Omega was gonna be back on that Japan show and stuff on January 5th, but just want to get out of the way. Pretty cool. All right, main event coming up, guys. Here we go. Finally, AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley, who is the champion, versus Orange Cassidy versus JY versus Heyman Page. Heyman Page. I'm sorry, I thought it said something different. Main event time. After post-match featuring the return of Kenny Omega following the conclusion, we see a video package, blah blah blah. Some eating after Raza, Orange Cassidy makes his way out. JR and company talk about themselves and commenting about the media coverage. We'll see if we woke up tomorrow with Orange Cassidy as the AEW World Champion. They all agree something that could easily happen. Heyman Page's entrance tune hits next, and now he comes to allow cowboy shit chant. JY is out next. Jon Moxley comes out with Marina Shafir next, and it's time for our final bout of the show. The bell sounds, it off we go. We get off to a weird start as the briefcase is inadvertently handcuffed to the ring post. To the ring ropes. Shafir breaks the cuff to take the case away as Page and White begin arguing over their plan, and this leads Cassidy to keep his eyes on Mox, leaving the ring before cutting him off with a dive to the floor. Jay and Adam join in on a beatdown of the champ, finally united to keep the lead Death Rider at bay. Come on. As they step away, however, we see Claudio Castagnoli showing up to help Mox before the pair leave through the crowd, only for Paige White and Cassidy to give chase. This leads to a walk and brawl through the crowd, with Mox turning his attention to Cassidy as Jay and Paige deal with Castagnoli. Mox eventually brings Cassidy back to the ring, mocking him with kicks before hitting the ropes, only for Orange to roll out of the ring. Mox goes right back after him, but Cassidy once again leaves the ring for a breather. Mox goes back to him, but Cassidy says to wait as he puts his hands in his pockets, distracting Mox long enough for White and the Hangman to appear beside the champ. The three challengers once again team up, setting up a triple powerbomb that sends Mox through the table, and Page goes rogue by attacking Jay and Orange, bringing the Switchblade back into the ring for a fallaway slam. Fans chant swerve chants at him, prompting him to yell at them to shut up. Alright, Cassidy gets in the ring, but is caught with a near fall by the Hangman. Before Jay breaks it up, Page sends him to the corner before hitting Cassidy with the running boot for a near fall on him. The action resumes in the corner, in the ring, as Mox he continues to recover on the floor for several minutes now. The commentators question if the rest of the match will be contested without him. Mox eventually re-enters the picture and is dropped by Cassie for another close 2 count. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, we see a dead eye from Heyman, but seconds later, Cassie starts hitting orange punches all over the place. Heyman breaks up a pin attempt by Cassie and puts the Psycho Peepers look back in the eyes as he circles in the ringside area. He looks for a buckshot lariat. He connects. He hits White with a big boot from the apron. It hits a big second. He hits a second buckshot lariat. He hits Mox with a dead eye. And heads out for another buckshot lariat. Riddler Yuta grabs Heyman's boot from the floor to stop him. Heyman frees himself and hits Cassie with a low blow, but then walks into a Blade Runner from White. White hits a Blade Runner on Mox, but then Yuta breaks up the follow-up pin attempt. Fuck you, Yuta. Chants spread like wildfire throughout the arena. Marina Shafir tries attacking Wyatt from behind, but Wyatt reacts with a Blade Runner. He turns around into a knee from Yuta. Mox picks up the lifeless Wyatt and hits the Death Riders. He covers him as Claudio Castagnoli, though it's the lifeless referee in the ring, who slowly counts 1, 2, 3. Your winner and still AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley. Thanks to multiple assists from the Dead Riders. Winner and still AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley. Alright, once the match wraps up, Once the match wraps up, we see Mox and Dead Riders grabbing steel chairs and gearing up for another violent beat down to end the evening. Instead, they are stopped by the familiar sounds of FTR's theme. Out comes Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler to a big pop. They stop, the lights go out, the FTR logo on the screen behind them changes to Rated FTR. The familiar sounds of the iconic entrance tune for Adam Copeland hits. Out comes the Radar Superstar. He, Harwood, and Wheeler hit the ring and beat down Mox and company. Copeland gets on the mic, fired up to say something heated fashion, but his mic don't work. All right, several seconds later, it's fixed. He says, Moxie, you look at me when I'm talking to you, kid. Yeah, I called you kid because you was growing pews when I started this. He tells Mox and the Dead Riders that their collective asses belong to he and FTR. Copeland's theme hits again to end the evening on a high note. That's how the AEW Worlds End Transitory Preview comes to a close. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, Happy New Year and stuff. So yeah, there was a good show tonight. So I enjoyed it. Yeah, some good matches earlier tonight for AEW Worlds End, all that stuff. So yeah, good show, and Adam Copeland's back. So yeah, Christian Cage I thought Christian Cage was gonna come down and be out Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship and stuff. So they didn't because Adam Copeland returned and all that stuff. But yeah, it was a good show tonight. I enjoyed it. Some good matches and all that. Pretty good tonight to end off the year for 2024 and stuff. So anyways, that was a good show tonight and stuff. Hope you enjoyed this video. If not, whatever. So like, subscribe, hit that bell button, leave a comment. If you guys want to leave a comment, I don't care what you guys do. That was it, and I'll see you guys in the next video for the final Monday Night Raw on the USA Network. Alright, laters.